This here is question of the day number 3. Um, this question is as follows. My husband and I think our dog's behavior is mostly the result of being afraid and not being in a calm state of mind. We are currently using the prong collar and e-collar to keep her under control, but I can't seem to change her state of mind completely when she encounters her triggers. Dogs, people approaching, neighbor's dog behind the fence. Okay, so this is a great question. Um, Although it is a little vague, as to what the dog's reaction is um, when presented with these triggers. You know, um, but I'm assuming it's anything over a level 2, which for this instance, you know, level 2 is pretty mild, right? So it's like first the dog's maybe looking, their forehead wrinkles, their ears perk up, maybe they start breathing heavily, maybe they stop breathing altogether. They're like, and like are really focused on that. That's where we're gonna say is like level 2. Ears alerted, all of that stuff. Um, so, if that's happening, like if say you're on the walk, you know, one of the things that we always think about is first getting a good walk into place first. So instead of going and walking around your neighborhood, maybe you're just practicing in front of your house, getting a nice solid heel going on. Okay, and you're already using the remote and the prong collar, so I would be great visiting. Prong collar heel, or remote collar heel, things like that, because then you're going to move to using the remote collar in a sense of like, don't worry about that kind of way, right? So the dog looks over, don't worry about that, and you tap, and then they are focused again. Same thing if they look over to the right, don't worry about that. Keep your eyes up front, okay? The other thing is you want to create some space, right? Because the closer the dog is to the trigger, the faster they're going to get to level 10, okay? So you might have to start with greater distances at first, and as you get better and your dog gets better, you can start to close that gap. You know, with that being said, right, like we don't trust other people's dogs. Even if they're like, "Hey, my dog's friendly," it doesn't matter if you say that to me. I'm not going to allow your dog to come up to me, and I'm also going to be proactive in that I'm going to create space around your dog. You know, um, Several years ago, we had a client who got bit in the leg by doing that exact same thing. They were walking down the street, they saw a dog who looked to be calm. They were crossing each other, and as they were crossing, that other dog jumped in front of their owner, you know, jumped in front, and then bit our client in the knee. And it was really from that moment on, we've always just said, if there's a dog coming towards you on the sidewalk, like give yourself some space, um, because you just don't know what that dog is going to do, and it's just putting a lot of faith in their ability to handle their dog. It's putting a lot of faith in that dog's ability to walk by, even if it looks super nice and relaxed. Um, that's just, she got bit in the leg. So we don't want that stuff to happen. So just create yourself some space, okay? And I think that's a universal rule for any dog. I have a dog who is reactive, um, and so we create space. But we also have two dogs who aren't reactive, and I still create space for them because, again, I don't need to find out if this dog is going to do that or not. Okay, it's just not worth it to me, and I think my dogs appreciate it more as well. That I'm not putting them into a position um, that could go south. Right? I'm 100% in control at that point by giving space. Okay, because I can't rely on that person coming towards me to give me space. Okay, so those would be the things to look out for: is getting a good heel in place, giving yourself a, some good space at first, uh, when you're out with your dog, and really being mindful of where their state of mind is going, you know, because again, we want to catch it at level 2. It's like here, and if they react really fast, it's like we want to make sure that for now they're not allowed to look at stuff, because looking at things makes them go to level 10, you know, and they start barking, lunging, what have you. You don't say that in here, but that's the, you know, that's usually the progression. Is first it starts with the staring, and then it just builds up, and then we got a dog who's barking and lunging at the end of the leash, and if we try to correct there, the dog could possibly try to redirect on us, which we don't want. So you always want to make sure that first you've got a dog in a good state of mind before you even head out on the walk, because the walk is the reward. And if their state of mind is a little bit more jazzed up when you get out of the house and when you start moving forward, we're saying yes to that jazzed up state of mind. Okay, so this is where we would suggest really boring walk, just in a circle in front of your house, up and down your sidewalk, but get your dog in a nice position at your side or behind you. Ears are nice and relaxed, and once you have that, then you can say, hey, all right, we're going to move forward now, and then they're going to understand that this state of mind got them what they want, which is to move forward. Okay, you know, neighbor's dog behind the fence. Now you could do this a couple of ways as well. Like, you would want to check in and see how well your dog's recall is, right? So we always say, like, everything starts inside the house. So can you recall your dog from place to place throughout the house, and she comes every time, right? You want to have a nice solid recall under no distractions before we start introducing the distractions. So again, if your dog is really good inside, how are they out back? Can you recall them off of smells and things like that? So you might want to make sure you have a really good recall in place, and that you've also taught your dog what nope means, okay? Or if you're using no, it just, if they really understand what that means, you could, a couple of things, you could put them on place outside. Neighbor dog is outside barking, you know, running the fence line. Your dog doesn't need to partake in that. Put them on place. They're practicing ignoring that dog, just like that, right? That's a really easy, low-level exercise to do, just having them coexist with that monkey business going on, okay? The other thing that we can do is let our dogs be free out in the back, and if they run to that fence, mind you, your dog has already been conditioned to the e-collar fairly. You know that they know everything. At that moment, I would probably say no with a firm correction, okay? And either recall the dog back to us, or you can see what the dog is going to do, okay? You can correct and then, okay, give them a chance to see what they do. You can say no, recall them back, put them on place, or just tell them nope, and just, okay, if you go back there, I'm going to correct you again, okay? You might want to also have a leash on your dog, just in case you need to get in there and actually pull them away from the fence, or give them a little bit more guidance, right? You say nope, and then you guide them back over to where you do want them, right? Those are things that we would try. So sorry this wasn't maybe a little bit more clear. The question was a little vague because I don't know exactly what your dog looks like when it, what its state of mind looks like, right? But those are the things that we would, good recall, good understanding of nope, and really focusing in on where your dog's state of mind is at before you even leave the house on a walk, okay? If you guys have any questions about this, again, always feel free to email me, or not email me, but put them in the comments. Also, be sure to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, so you can get notified of these videos. And, if this is helpful, feel free to share it to let other people in on the knowledge, okay? So, thank you for listening.